When we are taking a look at the language learning path, is there one correct language learning path? No, I do not think so. It's very dependable on the person, of course, and it's very dependable on what you want to achieve. Um, we have, for example, like I have put like two random pictures of like certain language learning paths. So like one is like starting from zero. I know like language in like 50 hours, like it's like divided in hours. That's this image here on the left. And my right is more like, hey, actually like language learning level. So I use words, I can use words and phrases, I use sentences, I use strings of sentences. And then with the sentences, I can use past, present, and future. Like, hey, I'm going forward. Um, with language learning, there is not one correct path because goals from certain people or from learners are not always the same. If I want to work at a company and I have to speak English, then my goal is different than when I'm learning it from for family. So then, like for example, like the pressure isn't that high. Um, but for example, my own language learning path, what I'm using now, one, set clear goals, long and short run, and write them down. What I mean with that is like in the long run, what do I want to achieve? For example, for Turkish, I want to speak Turkish fluently so I can speak to blah 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 blah, and to write them down. And the short run is like, those are like the goals that I like have to achieve to like get to my ultimate goal. So like for example, I am going to learn about the future tense, for example, because like I will need the future tense to become fluent in Turkish. Choose the right resources. Now, how do we choose the right resources? Very dependable on the person, of course. I, for example, have a book. Here we go, like Complete Turkish. Let me see if you can see it. You can't really see it because like my screen is blurred. And I have a vague background, but you get my idea. It contains grammar, it contains texts, it contains pronunciation help. I also have an app on my phone for this book with audios, so like I can listen to the texts and practice my listening and practice my speaking, so I can like reproduce the sentences. Passive learn. Oh, develop a routine. What do I do every day? Like I have a note thing, and I have written things down on this that I'm planning to do on my day for Turkish, for example. Passive learning versus active learning. Passive learning is like reading and listening. So we are not like using the language, but like we are, like we aren't like putting it into action like active learning. So like I'm not like speaking or I'm writing. The trick is to mix and balance, and like the balance like depends very much on the person. If I'm more of a visual learner or like an audio learner, then I'm more like a passive person. But like if I want to learn through speaking or through writing, like I'm more of an active learner. But like of course, like I still have to know like how the language sounds. So I need passive learning. Review and assessment. So after I've done something or I've learned a new grammatical rule, I'm going to review it and assess myself to see if I understood it well enough. Cultural exposure, like hey, like talk to people, read about the news, read about certain articles, history, like that's also cultural exposure that helps the motivation. And of course, having fun. Guys, this is the most important one. Please remember this, always have fun. Don't break your desk, for example, or don't like, do that when you don't understand something. It's okay to get frustrated sometimes. Sometimes I am as well. For example, Turkish suffixes are like, oh man, but have fun, because like when you have fun, like your brain as well go like, hey, like I'm getting it. We are getting somewhere.